Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to review what went well at the Bellingham 2023 seminar. We just finished our Bellingham March 2023 seminar, the staff Mace and Club workshop. We are currently at the location of what will be the August 2023 seminar, which will be a 5-day version of that same workshop. So all of this information is interrelated. I really like this log. There's going to be some staff fighting that happens on top of that in August for sure. The seminar focuses on staff, Mace, and Club and how the movement patterns of those things are all interrelated. We are letting people experimentally determine the movement patterns that are the most common in all of human history. The theory that I'm operating under is that they are basic human movements based on using levers. Humans have thumbs for a reason. The shoulder works a specific way for a specific reason. And we want people to understand why those things are important so that they will be likely to practice them for the rest of their life, and then likely to maximize their pain-free movement and their athletic potential as long as possible. We're going to kind of walk through the grounds here so people can see it behind me. At this seminar, we had a lot of really awesome people show up. We had a no-spin knife thrower show up, which is one of the coolest throwing patterns you've ever seen. He was also ex-military, ex-Navy SEAL. We had an A-list stunty show up, someone from Hollywood who works on $200 million movies. So we had a lot to talk about there. We had a 78-year-old physical therapist show up, and they did fantastic. The gentleman was prepared, and at almost 80 years old, he really rocked it. He did all the drills that everybody did. He didn't fall out at any point. That is the point of the program. Everybody can do it, whether it's a Navy SEAL, a stunty, or a 78-year-old physical therapist. Here's the day spa. We also had a bunch of yoga teachers show up. We had a whole team of people show up from a yoga studio. One of our participants had been to the 5-day in Thailand and some seminars the year prior. So she was on like day, I'm gonna say 10 to 12 and a half of training. She was killing it. We had a Muay Thai guy. We had a zombie apocalypse video game writer. So much to talk about there. Overall, this was the best seminar we've ever had because people very much showed up absolutely correct. They came correct. On the first day of training, we always run through what we call the evaluation phase. That house back there will be where people stay during the August seminar. During the evaluation phase, we see how people move. And on day one, we figured out that we were dealing with a very good group of people who had obviously done all their homework. That's fantastic. The point of a seminar is to help people refine skills that they have worked on prior. Granted, there's no way for most people to work on OODA loop staff drills on their own, so that's usually completely new information for everybody, but we work heavily on the Mace movement and the steel Mace yoga because we're helping people work on refining their technique. And people's heavy club technique was absolutely fantastic. I was very impressed by the people who showed up. It's just minor alterations to their structure, but usually in-person coaching should be that way. If people have done their prep work ahead of time, then they should be there to refine technique. Granted, there are people who show up with much less experience, that's fine. The way that the coaching is designed is for absolutely everybody to benefit no matter what. Nobody falls out of training, nobody. We make sure that everybody has a positive learning experience. In order to prepare for this seminar, people should work on their heavy club technique. They should take advantage of the Flowshala online membership, and people should probably be putting in 2 workouts a day for the month to 2 months to 3 months ahead of time. All your training leading up to a seminar should be, oh, here's the end. Super cool. Definitely gonna do some staff fighting here. People should be very prepared for these seminars. That way you can get the most out of it. And people keep coming back to these seminars over and over and over again because they continue to learn. Every time the drills change a little bit. They constantly evolve based on who's in the room and how well that they move. So to review, in order to prep, we highly recommend you running the Basis of Strength Heavy Club program. That is absolutely fundamental to surviving a seminar like this. These seminars are not easy. They run continuously in blocks with very little downtime in them. That is by design. You should also be working on your Flowshala Steel Mace Vinyasa Yoga. That is taking the place of what you might call martial arts forms. It has open hip conditioning in it, which is not really done in a lot of other places. Think of kettlebells as pointing 2 feet straight ahead. It's closed hip conditioning. The Basis of Strength program has 2 feet pointed straight ahead. That is closed hip conditioning. Currently, the open hip conditioning, a Warrior 2 position in yoga, is covered by the Steel Mace Vinyasa portion. Usually people are much stronger in closed hip conditioning, so we can use heavier weights and endure longer, but people do need to work on their open hip conditioning because it is part of stepping and turning around to face things behind you. That is part of the drills that we do with the staff fighting. We are showing people the reason for open hip conditioning. By having people start drills with their back facing away, they have to turn to the target, find it, they go from closed hip to open hip to closed hip, then they perform a task, then they might say turn back to a heavy bag to strike it, and people are going through the pattern when they turn around of closed hip, closed hip, back and forth. The longer you let people run a drill like that, the more they will discover the need for standing all the way up, squatting, hitting something as hard as possible on the ground, Warrior 1, stepping back, transitioning through Warrior 2 to turn around, going back to Warrior 1, going back to symmetrical stance, going back to squatting. That's very heavily what the seminar is about, is teaching people the value of that series of ideas and teaching people the purpose of something like heavy club squats, heavy club pullovers, heavy club shield casts, mace, drop swings, Mace drop swings in Warrior 2 position, so people can isolate those ideas and get better at each position specifically. This is absolutely not a new idea. Anybody who's practiced something like Shaolin Kung Fu knows this. In classical martial arts, this is done through training forms. Forms help people get better at each posture and get more extreme at them so that they step bigger, so that they step broader, so that they are stronger. They practice the posture and then they're practicing the movement to the next posture. That is why classical martial arts everywhere on the planet have forms. There's been a lot of trash talk on people doing forms in the modern world, and that is both good and bad because people don't understand why the forms are there. They are to train the position and the rotation so that when you put it back into OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act drills, people are good at the stepping already. Do you have to have forms? Absolutely not. But does it help greatly? Absolutely. So we are designing our seminar with that idea in mind. OODA loop staff drill, observe, orient, decide, act, where people are going through the decision process of turning around and doing staff drills. The most important thing is not getting hit, learning to put something between you and the thing coming at you. You're learning basic staff blocks, observing something coming at you, orienting your body, deciding to block, and then deciding to act. There's a bunch of stuff that we cover in this seminar, which is all based on that idea. We're going to continue to talk about this in videos because it's a super fun topic, and I do not think that this idea is being well understood. So I'm trying to make more videos to help people understand what the seminars are and why they're there.